Dawn rises over the field of battle, illuminating bodies and blood and really tedious micromanaging of resources. This is Warhammer 40k, Dawn of War number 3 from Relic Entertainment and Feral Interactive, built on the lovely Essence Engine 4.0. You can pick it up for about $59.99 of your American currencies and goddamn 72 bucks Canadian. Oh, that hurts my insides. Okay, what is it? Step into a brutal battle between three warring factions in Dawn of War 3. You will have no choice but to face your foes when a catastrophic weapon is found on the mysterious world of Acheron. So Feral sent us some keys for this, and so we are going to bring the hammer down and declare this game a heretic in the eyes of the CHAIRQUISITION. 1 chair means that it's garbage, 2 chairs means that it's meh, 3 chairs means that it's pretty decent, 4 chairs means that it's totally utterly amazing. We got our categories of doom mixed with the working shiny sounds, controls, and fun. So let's kick this off. Ven, did the Vulcan-y goodness work?
Oh man, that's the business we're all going to be talking about, isn't that right, Frank? That's all right. So I played it with the Vulcan over here on the 8150 octo-core 980 powered UHD displayed box of business. I'm running the Ubuntu 1604 LTS dot whatever the fuck it is this week. Yeah, man. All right, check this out. I knew I wasn't going to get the best performance in the world, so I decided to just run it at the lowly resolution of 1080 with on the high preset. You know, nothing maxed out to YOLO and or swag. The benchmarks lies, don't pay it any attention whatsoever. Actually get into the game and play it. In game proper, you're usually averaging somewhere between 30 and 60 with an 8150 paired with that 980. Multiplayer, played it with J Baby. You can go check our live stream of that. Somewhere between 45 and 50. Not horrible, very playable. And again, all that business was with the Vulcan. However, I do want to say this. You know, the Intel-only system requirements, when the Ryzen 7 has been out since March and the Ryzen 5s have been out since April, is straight up amateur hour at this point. Like it or not, my beautiful, fine-feathered friends at Feral, you're going to have to get some of the new AMD parts. They're not going away. In fact, they're selling like fuck-mothering cakes of hot. But that's not with the game itself. The game itself runs fine, so you're going to get the 4.
Oh yeah, the Vulcans, they work reasonably well on the i7 6700K with the GTX 980 on Fedora 24. Everything worked out of the box. Multiplayer, the UI could definitely use some reworking, but once... And also, it loads to a loading screen, which loads to another loading screen.
The UI could use some explaining at some point.
Yeah. And like, if you watch the live stream, we're like, all right, is it loading to another loading screen? Is this just another troll? But that's not really a reflection. The multiplayer does in fact work. Frame rates vary. I had everything except for the graphical fidelity. All the model details and whatnot were on high. As well as the anti-aliasing, and I was getting around 80 FPS in-game. In multiplayer, I did not pay attention. You can probably go back because I was streaming with the overlay on. So it worked really, really well. Good on Feral for beginning to sort out their Vulcan fuels.
Go Skylake.
Yeah, go Skylake. 4 chairs.
Yeah, over here with the FX 8370E and the GTX 1080, I had absolutely no issues with performance in-game. It was holding around 60 with everything on as high as it'll go, except for anti-aliasing, because that's usually the big performance no button when it comes to Feral ports. But there was one thing that I did notice was a bit janky, and that was the UI, because the moment you load... Let's say you loaded the game, it would take almost 2 seconds for the characters on the background of the main menu to fully load, and then it would take another couple of seconds before you could actually click on something.
Mm-hmm.
And if you went into a game, and then you say you saved your game, you came back to the main menu, it would do it all over again. And there's a little bit of a menu jank there, but in game proper, it was fine. So I can give it 4 chairs.
All right, well, that's 4 chairs for Mixed with Working. Up next is the Shiny and Sounds. Ven, did the blood look crisp and red?
All right. Have you played Dawn of War 2? Yeah, you probably have, or at least you've watched us play it. If you're listening to the audio, go check out. We've reviewed most of them. Videos playing right now, courteous P-Baby. But Dawn of War 2, have you seen that? Have you seen Chaos Rising? You seen that? Have you seen Dawn of War Retribution? Question mark. Have you seen that? Well, then guess fucking what, lads? You already know what this looks like because, yes, they all look pretty much the damn same. Let's just be honest. You know, not good, not great, not fantastic, but not bad. Not bad in the slightest. Just your standard real-time strategy fare. Nothing to write home about. But, you know, it gets the job done and it does it properly. And I kind of got to agree with Jordan for once because he'll expand on this. But when it comes to the sounds, the voice acting, that business is legit, son. At least in the single-player campaign, which, well, that's pretty much all you'll be playing of this game, unfortunately, but I'll talk more about that in the fun section. Hey, it looks all right. It does what it needs to do. I didn't see anything that went, oh, amazeballs. I need to tell someone about this. It's like, it's a continuation of the Warhammer series. There's nothing new here to report. And, you know, sounds all right. Again, nothing amazing, but technically they work, and they're not rubbish, so you get a solid 2.
Yeah, the voice acting is pretty good. Like, the Eldar actors sound like snooty high elves who went into space and are weird hedonist space god worshipping things. And I mean, the orcs sound like red ones go faster, Gorka Morka, and the humans sound like purge the heretics, which is what you'd expect. The Warhammer dialogue can get pretty goofy because there's a fine line you straddle when it comes to Grimdark. You either start getting like super ridiculous, or you can play it straight, and it's just kind of all right. This is able to straddle that line. I approve. Visuals wise, though, this game doesn't really do anything to distinguish itself from the hundreds of other RTSs that have been released in the past 10 years. Because I get it. Real-time strategy games require you to have a huge number of concurrent units on the screen, all potentially doing different things. So you don't want to jack up the visual fidelity all that much. That being said, when you have technologies like Vulkan that can use massive parallel, I mean, this isn't really a fault of Feral because they brought Vulkan tacked it on later on. But you know, these sorts of techniques exist now where you can use the parallel processing capabilities of your GPU to render a lot of different things in real time. And it still looks like StarCraft 2. I've sat down and watched people play through the entirety of the StarCraft 2 campaign. This looks pretty much identical. Occasionally you go, ooh, a Titan, that's neat. Oh, a Dreadnought, I love those. But that's more recognition of like iconic Warhammer things than any specific visual acumen. Plus, you know, when you have a million things all fighting together, it gets super clusterfucky. So I gotta give it 2 cheers.
Yeah, well, this time around they let you customize the colors of your units. But you never get to see any of that in the heat of things. In fact, unless you zoom all the way in, the only way you have to tell your units apart from the enemy is the color of the HP bar floating above each squad. Still, when you do zoom in, or you get one of the Titan units, everything looks really good, and sure, when they're that big on screen, they're easily identifiable. The voiceover, it just has that right amount of camp and cheesiness to make everyone sound like they were born and raised in the 40k universe. So as far as I'm concerned, the shiny end of sounds have absolutely no issues. They could be better, yes. They could fix the whole unrecognizable or indistinguishable units between your squads and the enemy squads, but it deserves 3 chairs.
All right, well, that's 2 chairs for shining the sounds. Up next is Control. Then, how'd you pan and zoom?
Horrifically. Check us out, man. Short and sweet. You know what? I hate games that don't have WASD for movement out of the box, and I hate them.
How you know how I feel?
I hate them with a fuck-mothering passion. Oh yeah, check this out. It's a Feral game. So you know good guy Feral. Yeah, you can rebind all the things, but prepare to sit your happy ass down and spend an hour rebinding all the other bullshit somewhere else that's already mapped to what you would logically expect to pan and zoom and move the camera. This is a Warhammer thing. That's how it's done, and I know there's Warhammer fans out there going, but that's the way you need to learn to do it. Fuck you. All right. This needs to have a Warhammer keyboard default layout and logically laid out like every other fucking game of this genre layout switch on it, but it doesn't. I played it like you were supposed to play it. Couldn't say I got good with it, but you know what? Everything works. You press buttons. It does its things. I can't tell you how many times with my hero I blew his fucking ability, blew his load, if you will, by hitting W because I was like, oh, let's move up. Oh, right. God damn it. It works. 2 chairs.
I mean, I get that the QWERTY as keys are used for the unit and building hotkeys. That's like a Starcraft thing. And we'll get to the Starcraft comparisons in the fun section. No, Strider, it's not an Emacs layout, because the Emacs layout actually makes sense. Hashtag Emacs for life. Hashtag I actually use Nano. Hashtag fuck that. No, but I would really like to be able to pan with the WASD keys. I get that if you hold down middle click and drag around, it'll pan everything. And I didn't figure that out during the stream. I realized, oh wait, could I just middle click? Oh, that would have probably made a better visual thing for the stream. Anyways, yeah, it's standard RTS fare, so no real issues. But yeah, it's just the whole panning and zooming thing, especially with some of the maps where you got to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth to like micromanage your things, doesn't really do it for me. So I too will give it 2 chairs.
Yeah, it's good to see a bit of a reversal of roles every now and again when it comes to controls, because I'm the one who usually bitches about controls because I can't rebind WASD to the directional arrows. Well, lo and behold, here the directional arrows are the default, and if you want to use WASD, you're going to have to rebind all the things. So you know what? As far as I'm concerned, 4 chairs.
Well, you know, Pedro can be wrong, and he also only has 1 hand. So that's 2 chairs for controls. Let's wrap this up. Ven, did you have fun killing heretics, smashing Xenos, and going fasta, Gorka Morka?
All right. Just go ahead and just get ready to pour all that hate on me next week. I can feel it coming, because you know what? Warhammer, it's just like sports ball. You know, the slightest mention of either in the vicinity of a proper fan will cause you to get your ear organ full. Son. You know, then you're going to sit back and explain that, hey, man, you only have a passing interest, kind of like I do. I'm just a filthy casual. You know what? That person will happily point you to guides so you can really become more fan. That's kind of the goal there. So, yeah, man. About the game, though, you know, I know what the hell of Warhammer is. That's about as far as I can go. As far as I can tell with my limited knowledge, this is Dawn of War for babbies, and if we're being honest, it's even too dumbed down for my enjoyment, and that's saying a lot. The single-player campaign is basically an overextended tutorial, because that's what it is. Quit lying to yourself. Multiplayer, on the other hand, is absolutely fantastic. Oh, I'm just fucking with you, man. It's a goddamn ghost town on Windows. This critter averages like 1,400 players on a good day with a 50% decline month over month. That's not a good thing. On Linux, you only play against people you've sit down and scheduled a game with. Get that through your head. That's all you're going to get. You're never going to, matchmaking's not going to work. If that does, send me a screenshot. I'll send you a key to another game, you know, say you won something. Even if you do hook up the available multiplayer modes, kind of balls boring. Watch our live stream with Jordan and myself as we explore that nope sauce. So at the end of the day, what is it? Well, it's this. It's collect resources, you build shit, attack the game. Basically, it's Doom 2 minus the nostalgia. That's what we have here, with a fuck you price tag on top of it. Fuck you with the 1 chair, then.
Oh yeah, that 71, it's 99 Canadian. That just made my insides hurt. Oh god. Thank you, Farrell, for providing the copies of this game. But yeah, no, they done made StarCraft, which I mean is fine. StarCraft is a perfectly fine real-time strategy game. But Dawn of War 2 made it a fantastic change by focusing just on the squad management, focusing just on like the in the moment skirmish strategy, as opposed to all the micromanaging crap that bogs down most real-time strategy games. And apparently people didn't like that. there were a ton of people who spoke out when Dawn of War 2 originally came out. And they're like, this is garbage. I want to build units and buildings and resources and blah, blah, blah. And so they brought number 3 back to a more traditional real-time strategy game while still keeping a bunch of the squad stuff tacked on. It's not kind of like Tiberian Sun or Starcraft where you actually have to go hunt resources. Instead, it's all based on capturing control points, and the resources there grow super fucking slowly, and it takes forever to ramp up, and it's really, really boring. And the squad-based management stuff feels really tacked on because, there are health drops all throughout the thing that, I'm going to send my guys here. Oh, the wrong guy touched it. So this guy at full health stole the heal and no one else got healed. And here's the thing. Ultimately, everything I can say about this game would just be comparing it to StarCraft, which is interestingly ironic because 40k was kind of the basis for the StarCraft lore and mythology. But I'm not here to review StarCraft. I'm here to review Dawn of War, and it doesn't really make much of a compelling difference. You get the humans, you get the who are the moderately priced guys who you can swarm with, you got the guys who you can super swarm with, and then you got the really powerful units that you got to be really careful and you do the Protoss ball of death thing. And when it boils down to it, I don't really find StarCraft all that fun. I sat down, I played through all the StarCraft campaigns. I even tried my hand at multiplayer, got my ass destroyed. And this is the same sort of thing here. I had StarCraft flashbacks the entire time. So I just can't do it, guys. I really love Dawn of War too, and you could have fucked it up. You fucked it up. One chair.
Oh, they fucked it. They fucked it real hard. I really enjoyed Dawn of War 2, much like Jordan. It's the game that I keep on my laptop for when I have an hour or so to kill. Dawn of War 3, on the other hand, shirks the squad focus, which made its predecessor more of a strategy RPG, and brings back the usual RTS mechanics. Streamlined as the resource collection may be, I get to the point where I have enough to spawn a boatload of units, select all, and then plow my way toward the objective marker, hoping that the objective was one of the things that died or exploded along the way. Now, I loathe pure real-time strategy games, and Dawn of War 3 is very much that. No advanced resource management, everything is boiled down to basics, and the squad management aspect, which had me singing the praises of Dawn of War 2, has been toned down as well. Gone are the loot and equipment drops, and all you do is the standard quote-unquote unit upgrade, which I'm not entirely sure does anything. This isn't an issue with Warhammer or 40k specifically. This is an issue I have with RTS games, and Dawn of War 3 does absolutely nothing to change my mind. And I know I'm not alone here because if you go on the Steam store, you will see that Dawn of War 2 has overall, it has 86% positive reviews. Dawn of War 3, 42%. That's less than half. They fucked it. One chair.
All right, well, that's one chair for fun. Tally it all, and Dawn of War 3 walks away with 2 chairs. So, final thoughts, gentlemen. Mantelgen.
If we're going to be honest, if you want a Vulcan benchmark, that's about it.
Get the Talos principle instead.
And,
Vulcan benchmark lies.
Well, finishing sentences has benefits because I'm going to say, we don't know exactly what Feral is doing for their Vulcan implementation. It smells a lot like Molten VK that they're using. Don't know, but with Talos, when Talos first launched with Vulcan support, it was slower than their OpenGL render, and now it's better. So it's something to follow on. I don't think this is a particularly good investment because of the price. Look at the reviews. They're not good at all and has nothing to do with us. And we're not going to be able to sway it one way or the other. And you do have the added disbenefit of it's only Linux and Mac players together that can play. So you're really not going to have much of a multiplayer experience unless you already have a current group like we do in the after show that, everyone meets and you can set up times like that. So if you like Dune 2, go find a copy of that on GOG instead.
Yeah, and if you were a fan of the Dawn of War series, play Dawn of War 2, because as Some people, as Jordan mentioned, some people brought up the issue that, oh, it's more of a squad management thing. It plays more like an RPG than a real-time strategy game. Yeah, and it did it really well. A lot of people who usually don't enjoy real-time strategy games, like me, like Jordan, actually enjoyed that game. So, you fucked it.
Yeah, and also the like Vincent, the price tag is ridiculous. The fact that there's basically no multiplayer, also pretty bad. The fact that it's trying to be a MOBA and a RTS and a squad-based thing and kind of failing at all of them doesn't really do it any favors. Yeah, I'm just go back to playing Dawn of War 2.